If you're new to the health coaching world, it can be pretty intimidating, especially if you've seen other coaches stagnating in their growth, never leaving their 9-to-5, even get worried about the significant range of the income potential for health coaches that you see online. You may have also noticed a large influx in health and wellness coaches lately and even wonder, how can you compete and make money in an industry that's so saturated? Well, in this video, we will discuss exactly what makes health coaches a full-time, profitable gig versus an expensive hobby. I go over how to avoid expensive pitfalls so that you can launch immediately and gain confidence in your ability to grow and be profitable. You can make a living as a health coach and make as much, if not more, than what you are making right now, but it really is up to you. When I made my first attempt at opening my virtual doors and seeing clients as a health coach, I couldn't understand why people were not showing up. They were showing interest, but nobody actually took action, and I wondered, why aren't people willing to pay for health coaching? I even started off with very low prices, but that didn't seem to work. This first attempt resulted in a year of stagnation and really being a very expensive hobby. After building my website, the hosting, the graphics, I even took those fancy pictures. I launched a program and even spent hours and hours creating a curriculum. And when it came time to my event, no one showed except my really good friend. I gave up on my entrepreneur journey or ventures as a coach temporarily, and being that I never left my 9-to-5, I was able to shift my investments into my personal growth. While getting that beat down of this failure, I learned how to humble myself and just learn from this failed attempt. Needless to say, the second time around, I was definitely more prepared with a strategy and had some profound awarenesses as the reason for my initial failure. Now, since having my business since 2019 and making a profit that I can live on, and therefore left my corporate job, I've also worked alongside other coaches that have had success in making their coaching a full-time living. So this brings me to the first thing that will determine if you make money as a health coach, and that is number one, focus on selling a solution and not that you're a health coach. People pay for results, not for a health or life coach. It really is crazy how much information you can get for free online. Like, think about just YouTube. You can pretty much learn anything on YouTube, including learning how to cook, recipes, meditate, tips on living more simply or decluttering your life. You can even get advice on how to open and run a business. That's why I'm here. You name the type of coach that is out there, I can guarantee that you'll find free advice or guidance on the how-tos within that area. So as a health coach, I know that I can help someone create a better life, but what does that really mean? What is it that I'm offering that they can otherwise get for free online? The thing is, people will not pay if they know that they can get it for free or if they feel that they can do it themselves. What people do pay for, though, is the solution or the result that you will get them to a problem that they are struggling with solving. So let's say, for example, if you had a car and all of a sudden, of course, it stopped working. Do you fix it yourself? Well, unless you're a mechanic, otherwise you would go to a mechanic because there's a problem that you don't know how to solve. So at this point, unless you spend hours reading and finding books on how to fix your car or go on YouTube and spend lots of time on fixing your car, you'd probably get to a point where you're just fed up and you're ready to just pay someone so that you can hurry up, get in your car, and just get on with your life. Coaching service is no different. People looking for and are ready to hire a coach need a solution to a problem. So if you needed someone to, let's say, repair your AC, you would search AC repairs. You would assume that whoever you're going to for AC repairs is an AC specialist, right? So let's say someone that had irritable bowel needs a solution to their frequent bathroom breaks. They would immediately assume that whoever that has this solution is probably going to be a health specialist, right? So you don't have to advertise or highlight your title, which is kind of contradictory, right, to what we mostly been taught. But I can guarantee you that successful health coaches are doing it this way. They are not selling their title as a health coach. They are selling their solution. Most new health coaches, life coaches, or wellness especially, really tend to assume that people know exactly how they help because they know how they help. With all the various problems that you could possibly help them in, it can create a lot of confusion and not knowing exactly how you're any different than the next person. So most laymen do not know the difference and therefore may not even know that there's a solution to a problem that they have for them to live a better and healthier life. I can promise you that coaches that are successfully making their business a full-time living understand the language and message that sells because they probably failed or learned from a mentor that solutions sell and not their title. So next time you're researching or looking at other coaches that are truly successful, and you have to understand some really may not be, but they're wanting people to think that they are so that they can hopefully get people to come to them. So know that that is a tactic, but for those that truly are successful, really see their messaging and see how it is that they are, what they are, how they are targeting their audience. I can guarantee you it's very problem solution focused as opposed to their title or living just a happy, healthy life, which is really too vague. And that brings us to the next thing that you would need in order to be successful and create a full-time living as a health coach, which is number 2, being too vague or staying stuck in a safe, really comfortable zone of words that you use because you're trying to really not eliminate anybody. Because as they say, niches are for the riches. And everyone wants a better, happier, healthier, or more fulfilled life. But again, what does that really look like? This is probably today one of my biggest pet peeves with new coaches, and it's because I too did it and was unaware of how vague I was. It actually really drives me nuts and makes me cringe inside whenever I overhear maybe someone else giving their pitch and really thinking, wow, that was me when I first started. I'll overhear them say, I help women live a very happy, fulfilled, healthy life. And then I wonder, what does that even mean? Why are they not living a fulfilled life? Why are they not happy? Why are they not healthy? We all want a healthy, happy, fulfilled life. I think that every single person on this planet is striving for that in their own way. And if you don't listen and hear kind of who you're talking to everybody by those words, because it's way too vague and it's not specific enough in order to really grab onto someone to help them feel something. So if your message is generic or vague, it does not create an emotional alliance with what you offer. A message that has an emotional alliance will literally pull a feeling from your potential client that ties to your service. If you think about any time you made a decision to buy something, it was based on an emotional response. You didn't buy your car because you saw a picture and liked that it has leather seats. Yeah, sure, but instead you test drove it, sat in it, felt it, you felt safe, spacious, and comfortable, and you maybe even imagined how safe your family would be in it, which then created a feeling inside because of knowing all the airbags that are in there. So you really found this car and purchased it because of the feeling that it gave you. Salespeople really get that. And there's nothing wrong with understanding that emotions do create a reaction. So with really selling your health coaching service, it's even more important for you to have an emotional tie to your message because you're really selling an invisible thing. Unlike a product like a car that you can physically touch and sit in, as a coach, you're selling a feeling of them no longer having their problem and how much value that would bring feeling-wise. But to create a clear message, you need to get clear on who you are targeting or talking to. To create a more narrow message that is too vague and not really connecting with anyone because everyone wants it. If you want to learn more about this and how to niche down, you can also check out my video on niching as a multi-passionate health coach right here. If you want to help people get more fulfilled and happy and healthy for your ideal client, what does that look like? That's what you're going to want to think. What does that look like? What is getting in the way of their results of having that healthy, happy, more fulfilled life? And so if you think about that and what is getting in the way, that is the problem. And then you would need to create a solution for that. That's what sells. Now, successful health coaches understand all of these things that I've already said. And on top of that, they also understand number 3, which is positioning and packaging. Now, as you start a business, you realize that your clients don't just fly to you without some strategy and effort on your end. The amount of time and energy and also monetary investment, because the reality is that you do need to invest in a business, especially in the beginning, either that be in your own education, in creating ads or whatever, depending upon you and what you need based on your situation, you're likely going to need to invest, just like like I did even my first year. And so with that understanding, you're going to want to make sure that your investment is going to give you a return on investment. And the more return that you get, the more easier it gets. You can open a business and basically work hard, let's say equivalent to 10 hours, and get one client, but that one client is maybe does one-to-one or one coaching session, and if you get paid X amount, really it may not account, well, I would say really highly unlikely is going to account for those 10 hours that you initially invested. So the reality is that the time and energy or money that you invest in gaining that new lead or client will have to be less than what you make off of that person. So the way that we do that, or successful health coaches and those that live full-time as a consultant or coach, are basically positioning and packaging. They position their program so that it is set up for a certain amount of sessions because they are working towards a problem. And in order for them to solve this problem, it usually takes some time. It doesn't usually get fixed in one session or one coaching therapy. It really does take a number of sessions. And so you position your offer in order to prepare them for that, to have a certain amount of sessions or a certain package of therapy. So depending upon how much effort and time you invest, you will have to aim to at least making a profit based on the amount of hours and energy you spent in gaining them. By doing this, you create packages of a certain amount or number of sessions and basically let them know from the very beginning that basically there's no one-hit wonders. Now, the last and very important part that health coaches and healers, or those that are living full-time with a practice, do is number 4, consistency, and they're confident. Consistency is probably one of the most biggest downfalls of most coaches out there. You can probably scour the internet and find old posts or old accounts and see that there's no activity, or that their website even has at the very bottom of the screen 2018 and because there's no activity, or they haven't updated it, or maybe their links don't work for their calendar. And that's because we are not consistent with our strategy and what we initially implemented when we first started. When people get into becoming an entrepreneur, there is this really glorified understanding of what it will look like, when in reality, it does take work. I will really tell you, it does take a lot of work. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it doesn't, because it requires your time, your energy, and your consistency. And to be consistent, even when you hit a dip or it feels like your efforts are not going anywhere, because it's not immediate gains. Typically, it takes up to 3 months in order for any strategy that you implement to show results. And so being consistent, no matter what comes up, is key in gaining an audience, and also showing that you'll show up when they need you the most, so that you show up when you need it the most too, by just being consistent in there. And the way that you can stay consistent and also confident is by getting coaching. No health coach that is successful has not got their own coaching. All of them that have been successful, I can guarantee you, has gotten some mentor or coaching from someone else. And if you're not willing to invest in your own development to learn how other people's did it, or even see what maybe they learned from their failures so that you can learn, then you're going to be dragging along and unfortunately learn the hard way, like I did the first year. After my second attempt, I did hire a coach, I did hire a mentor, and I learned from them. And this hyper sped my success to really see the bigger picture of the strategies that I weren't not implementing, as well as the accountability that my coach really put upon me, so that I can really make sure I stay consistent and on top of my game. So hiring a health coach would probably be included in number 4, because if you can't stay consistent, if you can't ride those waves or those dips or those challenges and really push through the grit, what it means to be a healthpreneur or an entrepreneur, then it's not going to be for you. And that's the reality of the situation. There will take an investment that you need to put in, but I can guarantee guarantee you the reward is immense. The level of autonomy, the freedom, the amount of self-growth that you go through is priceless. And for me, I have definitely gained a newfound awareness within myself and how it's reflected in my business, because really your business is a reflection of you, and anything that's going on within your mindset or your limiting beliefs will be reflected within your business. And so you're forced to work through those things, and having a coach or a mentor that has already been through those things is essential. So with that, if you'd like to connect and to talk more, I do have a program coming up and running. Feel free to click the links below to check up about that so that you can become part of our email list and get updates. I'm happy to connect with anybody. Please be sure to put some comments below in regards to what you feel any of these tips have helped you. And otherwise, I look forward to seeing you guys next time on the next video. Have a great day. Don't forget, YouTube is about to show you some recommendations on videos for you to check out on this channel right now.